Hey, what's going on, everybody? Well, oh, that was real country. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. I am Sabrina Seoul, and tonight is Wednesday night. You know, on Wednesday nights, we have the Kings panel. And if you missed the Queens panel last night, definitely check that out. We had a new face from Married at First Sight. Actually, it was Alexis from Married at First Sight joined us, and it was a really, really good chat. So definitely check that video out. Tonight, we have some amazing questions, topics that we're going to be discussing. We have two more Kings joining us. Hopefully, their internet and they kind of figure out what's going on, and hopefully they can join us. But we're going to go ahead and get started. So sorry for the lateness. We were actually waiting for them, but I couldn't wait any longer. But anyway, I'm going to go around, let the Kings introduce themselves, where you're from, how do they know you, your social media, where they can follow you, and then we're going to get started. Tyrone and then Jay.
What's up, everybody? Tyrone Wilson, Ready to Love DC. Always a pleasure being on the panel. I do have some more content coming out. I just settled into my new place in West Palm Beach, Florida. So finally got a chance to settle in. So there'll be a lot more coming from me. Check me out at Ty Wilson 21 everywhere. Let's go.
What's going on, everybody? Soul Mates in the house. Jay Bradley. Jay Brad, you may have seen me on the Ready to Love Houston season. I was at the last resort. But just love to be here. I'm a true soulmate at heart, and I'm in the house with family.
Yes, yes. And welcome, my soulmates. I see you guys coming on in. Definitely come in, grab a drink, get some popcorn. It's definitely going to be fun, at least for the next hour or so. Shout out to my soulmates that's in the chat. If you have not liked this video, definitely click that thumbs up. If you are new here, welcome. Make sure you subscribe. Click that notification bell so every time I go live or do an upload, you will be the first to know. Shout out to Another Round. She's going to be in the chat. She is one of my queens on my Queens panel, and she is a moderator, and you're going to be seeing her commenting and putting up links. Make sure you follow the gentleman on social media. Shout out to my soulmates. Hey, what's going on, Danielle? Yes, Sahara says, can't wait for this last all men's panel for a while. It's going to be a while. If you guys did not know, this will be the last panel for the men's, for the Kings, and last night was the last panel for the Queens. But next week, on Wednesday at 8 p.m., we are going to have the Kings and the Queens together talking about some good topics. And you know, I had to save the best topics for last. So definitely make sure you tune in next week for that. We're going to have a lot of fun. You guys know on July 7th, Ready to Love will begin. And on Fridays, I will have my live watch party. And on Tuesdays or Wednesdays, I have to talk to the group and see what day is going to work best, but we will have our live panel reviews as we discuss the episodes from the previous week, as we've done every season. And you guys know we get hype on here. And yeah, so hopefully you will see some familiar faces and maybe some new faces. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and bring Johan up. Yay, you made it.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Sorry, I was running late.
It's okay. It's okay. You were like, I'm here. I was like, where?
I didn't. I didn't. I think I missed the link or something.
Yeah, I put it up there again. Did you end up seeing the second one?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
So the other two Kings already introduced themselves. Please, Johan, introduce yourself. Let them know who you are, where they can find you on your socials.
Of course. Again, my name is Johan. I'm a mortgage broker or a mortgage lender. Based out of Colorado. I'm a huge fan of Ready to Love, and always happy to be on here to share my perspective on all the questions that Sabrina has. So thanks for having me again. I'm very excited. Hi, Ty. Hi, Jay. I hope you guys are all doing good.
What's good, man?
How you doing?
Yes. All right. Oh, I was like, did it just pour down rain? Okay, so as I stated, Another Round is going to be putting the links for the Kings in the chat area. If you guys have anything to say, any comments, any questions about the topics that we will be discussing, definitely go in the comment section, join the chat. The chat is usually live and it's be a whole nother world over there. But sometimes I do put the comments on the screen and we do discuss them as well. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started. And let me actually say the topics and the questions for tonight. And yeah, we're going to move forward. So the very first one is, if I interviewed your exes, what would they say about you? What is your definition of love? What do you consider cheating? And who hurt you? And what have you done to heal? There's some good questions tonight. It's some good questions. And you guys know 2 of the questions usually are from the show before and then before and before. So it's like a rotating. So we actually talked about for the 2 questions, the other 2 questions will be actually, the women won't even get a chance to answer it, but the women answered, if I interviewed your exes, what would they say about you? And what is your definition of love? So those 2 questions we did discuss, and we had 2 other questions for the Queen's panel last night. Definitely check that out. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get started. Another round said, yes, Tyrone, what would they say? All right, moving forward. If I interviewed your exes, what would they say about you? Not everyone at once.
I'll go. I don't think my exes would have anything negative to say. I think they would say ultimately, I'm a good guy. I think they would say, there is some fine tuning that needs to be done when it comes to, committing for the long haul. Like, I think that they would say marriage is something that kind of scares me a little bit, but not a committed relationship. I think for me, there are 2 different things. It's almost like I can be in a committed relationship forever, but if it was marriage, then I would be like, nah, I'm good, which is really weird. I think they would say I'm a devoted, loving father, family man, and ultimately a good guy. I don't think they would have anything negative to say at all, really. Yeah.
I guess I'll go next. What did my exes say about it? So it's funny because I just had a conversation with 3 of my exes within the last week. So I have very fresh data. I had an event, what was that, maybe Friday. I went and took one of my exes from a few years ago. Then I ran into a girl that I was with for 10 years. And both of them, they were always, I think what the commonality is, I'm the most honest guy that they've dated, like just straight up. As far as faithful, and if there's issues in the relationship, I'm somewhat almost brutally honest. So I think one of the things I have to work on is softening my approach, be a little bit more gentle, which I'm just a straightforward person. So that's something I work with. And what was another one? That was their most overall. Like, we're just still cool. Like, I'd say probably 9 out of 10 of my exes, we're still real cool. And if we see each other, we'll grab a drink somewhere and sit down and kick it and talk about their relationship or their new relationship. I think that probably similar to Ty, probably the similar thing is like, just getting me to commit, because I know I have a really good idea of what it takes to get there since I've been married before. And I'm willing to do the work, but I'm not willing to settle as far as, oh, we're almost there, or we're just missing 50% of it, but I'll go ahead and go trust the process. No, I'm not that way. We need to be at 80% in order for me to move forward into the long game. So I think that'll probably be their biggest thing is, I think once you've gone through enough situations, you realize you don't want to fail anymore. So here's the things that I know it takes to succeed. And I'm willing to go all forward once we have those, and I'm willing to work forward having those together. So, yeah. Man, that's a messed up question to start with. God, dog, that's, we're starting in the deep end. Yeah, it's kind of.
It's one of those questions where you have so many follow-up questions about. So.
I got some too, because I'm here like, well.
I honestly would love to hear what they would have to say. You know,
You know what? Let me just send a
I'm
link
not
out to
afraid of
my
that.
exes real quick.
Yeah, I'm
Somebody
not
said
afraid
I want to tie his
of
exes
that.
right here. Come on, baby. No,
I mean, if I could think of something, maybe a negative, I think they would say I'm a little quirky, but I don't think that's a bad thing. You know,
Oh wow.
I can't let it all be good. You know.
I think for me, if I had to share the feedback I've received in the past from my exes, it was probably, um, I would say probably like more very like, I mean, the good is like that I'm very thoughtful, very intentional, and very supportive. You know, I'm self-aware. Um, but the bad will probably be like my adjustment to like being open to like constructive feedback from my partner. I think in the past I've been a little bit more like sticking to what I know and thought what I knew was the best way to go, and I just had to really like learn a few things about myself. And so yeah, I think definitely that comes back a lot more, that I'm very assertive in what I want, and that's what's happening. And I had to really learn that it was not always about me. So yeah.
So let me ask y'all this, because y'all know I be having sub questions. So when y'all are in a relationship, is it okay to still have friends as your exes?
What do you mean by friends?
Just
Have you
like,
smashed? Have you smashed before?
yes.
that doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me one bit. I've been on both sides of that. I'll respect the relationship if a woman doesn't want me to have those relationships with my exes, but it doesn't bother me for her to have those relationships with her exes. I think I've got enough discernment to understand the difference between a friendship and somebody that still has a soul tie with you. But I'm also relatively confident if you're with me, then you know the benefits. And at the end of the day, if you choose to be with somebody else, then I respect whatever that is. I'm not stuck to a desired outcome. You know, sometimes you might just be someone a part of their journey, and so if they need to realize some stuff because they was with you and they got back with their ex, I want people to be happy, man. And it obviously wasn't us for long term, so it doesn't bother me.
Yeah, I don't have an issue. You know, I'll trust you until I have a reason not to trust you. You know, if I introduce you to someone, so I'm still cool with some of my exes. We're friends now. Some of my exes are single moms. I'm still cool with their children. So sometimes, you know, I would go say hello to the kids, or if they need me to watch the kid for an hour or two while they do something, I may do that. And I know that that may not be something that you would want to hear, but that's something that we would have a conversation about. I would say, if this is something that you don't like, then I would make some changes to it. And same for you. If you have friends, I'm going to trust that those are your friends. You know, I think the ones that I don't tell you about are the ones that you need to worry about. So if I'm explicitly putting her in your face, you know, saying that this is my friend and you know her, then it would be dumb of me to mess around with her, you know, and break that trust.
Johan, what about you?
Yeah, I think I'm just like Jay and Ty on this one. I trust my partner. I think it just depends on, you know, the boundaries that we are building around our relationship. As long as they are not crossed, and I can see that it's just somebody that you are connected with because they are still a friend, that's cool. But if it's coming across like there's still some form of soul ties there, then that's something we can definitely address. But I necessarily don't have any issue with that, you know. So,
And this is just us like talking. Like, what if I'm like, hey babe, me and James, we, you know what I'm saying? You remember my ex James. You know, remember, like I told you, that's like he like my brother now. Like, we cool. Like,
You're doing too much explaining. It's already sounding like you guilty.
Right.
It's already.
like, we about to go get some lunch. It shouldn't matter like how I explain it, but you know what I'm saying? Like me and my ex James, you know, the one I told you about, we about to go get some lunch. I know you don't get off of work till 8. It's 5 o'clock. You know, we in the same area. I ran into him. We about to go get some lunch. Is that okay? That's okay.
I would have one request though. I'm gonna need to see his energy when y'all in the same room together. I need to see how he react to you.
Well, how you gonna see? You at work. You don't get off till 8.
No, you need to introduce me to your friend. You can't just be doing things with your friend that I've never met.
And it's just like what Jay just said. Like you were already doing too much explaining, because if you already have to tell me who that guy is and how you guys are friends, that means you and I have been dating or been together this whole time, and I don't really know this guy very well. So from a safety purposes, it's already like putting you at risk because we don't know each other like that. But if it's a friend that you see constantly, like Tyrone, a guy who's dating you right now, you know, he know that you and Tyrone are friends. So you're just gonna say, I'm going out to dinner with Tyrone because you already introduced Tyrone to whoever you were dating. I think what Tyrone was referring to is like, it's not so much about going to dinner. It's having that level of comfort and knowing that your woman is out there and she's safe with whoever she is with.
Like you do know, like it's two people that you can see together that can act very amicably, very cordially. Energy is like, oh, they cool. They don't like each other. And then the next day, like,
yeah, if he knows
like
that
you ain't see it coming, like we gotta play this cool. Like you gotta make sure, like, get your actor's card, we gotta make sure, like, you know what I'm saying? He owns, you know.
But one of y'all is initiating that date. One of y'all is initiating that date, that communication, that get together, right? And that makes a difference. Like, are you trying to meet up with him, or is he still trying to meet up with you? And if he's still trying to meet up with you, even if it's on a friendship level, knowing that you got a man, then I'm going to need to see what that interaction is like.
See, that's too much.
Why? He's your friend. Why is it too much?
I mean, I get it. Like, I don't mind my men still being friends with their exes, but you going out to eat, why you got to eat with her? Like, you can eat with
That's
anybody.
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, like.
So what is too much? I'm confused.
Because I feel like, why do you have to have this close of a friendship with someone that you were intimately involved with? You know, like, and it might be a situation, like, I just feel like once the gates have already opened, just because they was closed, they was already open. It's still remnants hanging around. The gate is closed, but the remnants is still there. You know what I mean? And I just feel like, you want to go out to eat? I be home at 8. I cook you dinner when you get home. Like, but you hungry now? Make a sandwich.
I'm hungry too. Right.
Make a sandwich. Like, you know, I mean, and I feel like, you know, if y'all are friends, it's cool. Like, you know, call Mary. You know, Mary had an issue. Mary needs someone to talk to. She understand. Like, you know, you understand Mary. Mary need some. I get it. But you hanging out with Mary, I'm sorry. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong. I'm sure the chat probably will eat me up. But that's just me. I don't want my man hanging out with any of my exes. I don't. Guess what? I trust you to the moon, to the stars, and back. I trust you, baby. I don't trust her. I don't know her. I don't owe no lawyer. I don't trust her.
So
I just don't trust the situation. Oh, it's little remnants. I don't do remnants.
Can I throw a curveball
Nope.
at you? And
I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
So you have a child, Jay. You do have daughters, right?
Yeah.
So I have a son. So we are co-parenting with people. How is that now? How does that work if it is the mother of my kid? Because the mother of my kid and I, we pretty cool.
That's different. I didn't say
still remnant. It's still a gate.
It's in the next.
It is, but y'all have to have some type of communication. You gotta meet up to, you know what I'm saying? Go to graduation. Like, no, you know, your mama gonna go 1 to 3, and I'm gonna be there from 3 to 5. Like, no, y'all, like, it's different when it's kids involved. I'm just talking about random exes. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like, you got to meet my ex to first. This ain't no threesome. Like, what's going on? Jay, stop. I'm sorry. This wasn't even one of the topics.
I feel like this is something you want to talk about, Sabrina. So
Yeah.
it's okay.
I know. Let's
talk about the thruple. Let's talk about the thruple.
Yeah.
I feel like you know,
it's
get it
good
off your
that
chest.
it's good that we brought the kids in, because my ex, like my daughter, actually sees my ex as like a mom, since we were together for so long, and she was young at the time. So whenever my daughter is in town, you know, I do make that call and be like, hey, Ty's going to be here. If you want to link up, we could try to make that happen. But that's really pretty much all it is.
Yeah, that's different. When the kids are involved, it's different. That's just like, you know, me, I get into a relationship, you know, Sedora's only known this guy, you know, pretty much all her life. And then 4 or 5 years later, I get into a relationship, I'm about to get married. Like, I don't want to be like you was cool for the 4 or 5 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't deny him that. But of course, I would talk to my fiance or my man about it. You know what I mean? And to see how he feels about it. I absolutely would have that, you know, there go another fly.
I'll be like, he good. He good.
That's what he would say. See?
Right. But FaceTime.
So that's okay. Me and you are dating, Ty. And I say that about the lady that you just talked about. She wants, your daughter comes into town. Me and you are together. Well, you know, I'd be taking her to go see. Yeah, Ty, was she good? She good.
I'm all right with that.
What?
Yeah. I would have to respect your requests.
I appreciate that. Oh my God, Jay. I can't.
You don't like our answer or what? What's going on?
Oh God, you must don't know what the private chat. No.
Oh, okay, got it.
You got to go over to the side and look down at the 4th little bar.
Oh, okay, I got it. I'm gonna catch up.
Yes. So everybody that watched last night knows that I had a whole issue about this fly, but we're not gonna get into it. If he land there again, it's a wrap. Let me go ahead and get another. Yeah. That whole fly situation. Talking about taking putting the X's in the trash. It was the whole. Anyway.
Dr. 100%, what you know about the skibbity pat?
New panel. What?
Nothing.
Oh. I think I got him. I think I lost him this time. That's his cousin. I don't know how his cousin got in the house. Okay.
Yeah, all right. Things was jumping over there, man. Keep going. Keep going with the questions.
Jay, we're about to see some flies over there.
I can't. Stop.
We're about to Grubhub some flies to Sabrina house.
That's the wrong top for that. That's the wrong top.
Oh my God, guys. Okay. Oh my God.
A moment. All right.
Okay. Where was we talking about? Oh yeah. Okay. That was a sub question. I don't even remember. Let me think. We was talking about interview your exes. What would they say about you? And I think that we ended with Johan, and I was like, well, I got a question. So Johan, I'm so sorry to cut you off. Did you finish your statement, your comments?
No, yeah, I think I was done. I
think so too.
Yeah, I think Jay was next.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh no, Jay went because it was Ty, Jay, and then you went actually.
Oh, okay, got it. So okay. No, I'm good.
Okay, I can't. Okay, next question is, what is your definition of LOVE? Can I get an L? Can I get an O? Can I get a V? Can I get an E? What is your definition of love?
Definition of love?
Yes. What is your definition of love, Johan?
I think love is like when you know you have enough information about someone and you know that this is somebody that you want to spend the rest of your life with based on who they are on their best and on their worst day. Because I think it's just not a feeling. It's like you have to have enough information about how someone is in the morning, during the winter, the summer, or other things like that. So when you have enough information, regardless of how you feel around them, I think that's like when you're making that choice and you know that this is the person you want to be around forever. Yeah.
Okay.
And unfortunately, I believe there are like love stories, and then there are lifetime love, essentially. So that's another discussion for another day, I guess.
No, you expand.
No, I think we experience love in our lifetime multiple times, right? And I
Mm-hmm.
think the lifetime love story the lifetime story that we have around love is the person that we end up, you know, spending our last breath with. But essentially, there are people in our life that we have essentially like loved in the past deeply, and we know that we will love them. It's just that the circumstance of life are not aligning for us to be together. So you're making the choice to love somebody else, essentially. That's a little bit like you see with JLo and Ben Affleck, how they got back together.
Mm-hmm. I tried going back. It ain't work. It ain't work for me. Shout out to Jen and Ben. Jen Ben. I'm on it tonight. You know what? I took a nap. We started, and it was like a 45-minute nap. Normally, I get like a 20. So I got some sleep tonight. So
For me, I think it's like the essence of purpose and existence combining. It's selfless. Um, it's one of those forces that you can feel, touch. Um, it's a beautiful, beautiful thing, but it's also it makes you yield to it. So it's hard to explain for me, but it's a force unlike no other. And there's all types of love, right? But I think the biggest part of love is selflessness. You know, and we experience love in many ways, like the love between a father and a child. You know, Ty, you know that it's it's you'll lay down your life in front of a semi truck in a moment for it. Something but love and being in love is a totally different thing, and it's scary as hell too. Though you know when you realize that you'll go that deep and that hard for somebody that you've only known for a short amount of time, it's a beautiful thing.
Tyrone.
Jeez. Well, obviously, I have no clue, right? Because I don't think I'm that good at it. But I do believe that there's a thing like being in love and then having love for someone. I don't really think I've ever been in love with someone. I think Jay touched on it a little bit. I feel the closest thing I ever got was to when my daughter was born. And then there was like a little switch that went off. And it was like, not only would I kill everybody in here for her and not think about it, but for the first time ever, you know, I would sacrifice my life for someone and not think about it at all. But if I had to guess what what love is, I would say it is when you are subconsciously trying to identify what makes a person happy, and then you are subconsciously doing those things that makes that person happy, but without being afraid to possibly hurt that person out of respect for your own boundaries. Do you know what I mean? Like I feel like you have to love yourself before you can love someone else. And loving yourself is ensuring that you're happy first. And you can't be happy if you're consistently sacrificing your boundaries to make someone else happy. You know what I'm saying? So at some point you need to let them know what your limits are, and they're going to have to, you know, either deal with that or not. You know, I guess I'll figure it out one day.
I was getting ready to ask y'all, have y'all ever experienced and been in love before?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What about you?
I got close, but y'all start tripping. You know how y'all do. No,
Who's y'all?
I'm joking.
I was getting ready to say, I know we are some emotional creatures, but we be tripping because of the things that y'all be doing. Like, we don't just be tripping. Like, it be reasons why we trip. Like, y'all do something, every action is a reaction. Like, y'all do something stupid, and then we be tripping, and then y'all be like, oh, she crazy. Like, what? I'm crazy because of, so you be in the streets and you knock down 3 girls in the last month. And
Jay's face is funny.
then you went out and had lunch with one of your exes, and you be on the phone
Sabrina.
with her. So you did all this, and then I'd be like, Tyrone, why you do that? You'd be like, I knew she was crazy.
You was crazy by the time you got to the second sentence. You know what I mean? From our perspective, you know. But let's talk about that. I'm not trying to take us to church or anything like that. But when you asked the question, I thought of my definition, and then I thought of what they say God's love is agape love, right? Like that, loving all of you inside, outside, regardless of mistakes, imperfections, and all that stuff, right? And then so I'm not trying to make a Bible study. When you look at Corinthians 13, 4 through 7, love is patient, kind, it's not envious, it's not boastful, it's not dishonoring to others, it's not self-seeking, it's not easily angered, keeps no record of wrongs, rejoices in the truth, always protects, trusts, hopes, and perseveres. Love in essence reflects God's character and his divine plan for our human relationships. So when I look at the love that I've had for people or the love that I have for my child, then I look at it from that perspective, have I really loved? Right? The flies back.
I thought I got him, but please continue.
I was ready for it to be jumps all over. Anyway, but so from that perspective, it kind of makes me go a little bit deeper into what is love really, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then if you run it through that filter of that definition of love, if you're a believer, then have you really been in love, or are we still learning how to love?
So that was the next thing that I kind of wanted to ask are there different types of love for you guys? Like, because I know the love that I have for my man and the love that I have for my child is like 2 different kinds of love. So actually D Brown kind of said it in the chat. So not even Ty, the 3 of you, can you explain the difference between loving someone and being in love? Johan, what were you about to say?
No, I was just going to piggyback on what Jay said before going to D Brown's statement. Essentially, I love what he said about agape love. Mm-hmm. And you asking us what kind of love that we have, because, you know, outside of the agape love, you have the filial love, which comes from the brotherly love. You know, that's the love that you have for your friends. And then now we have the eros love, and that's more erotic. That's more lustful. That's more all about the body and everything else. So there's different type of like attachment of that love that the Bible describes. And in the way of us loving, I want to go back to the Bible again, not to turn into a Bible study, but you know, they called us husband to love, you know, our wives like Jesus loved the church, you know, and then they also call the wife to submission and following the husband. That's what the Bible says, right? And that's another way of talking about what love should look like. It should be very sacrificial. Now, bridging back to what D Brown said about being in love and loving someone, I think loving someone is more having that love for them for who they are, and being in love with them is actually like expressing that love, if I can put it in that perspective.
Yeah. I think I had just mentioned something about that in the chat, in the true traditional sense of what love is according to like the traditional definition or the Bible definition. I can't say that I've ever been there. In one of the most recent cases with my ex, I've mentioned that I do have a lot of love for her, as a person, as a human, as a friend, but I don't think I'm in love with her. I was ever in love with her. Like you know what I'm saying? Like for me, in love would be, if you're willing to spend the rest of your life with this person. And I don't think I've been in love enough to actually pull the trigger on that. So in the true sense of being in love, I don't think I've ever been there. I don't know if I'll ever get there.
I think, and I'm not dissecting your version of what love is. I feel like you're feeling the expectation of yourself is to have this perfect assembly of all these feelings towards somebody. And from a human perspective, love is flawed, So I know that there's times that I've loved somebody, and when I've gone back and, after a relationship, be like, did I really love them? Or was it just a cookie? Or did I really love them? Or was it just convenient? Or did I really love them? Or they just were so cool or funny or beautiful or whatever that thing is. And then, so I mean, I think from that perspective, Tyrone, I think some of us might go back and be like, we've never loved somebody because there was a missing component of it, But I think for me, I've been able to give and receive different levels of love at different points of my life. And as I've matured my definition of what those things are, what I can give and also receive has heightened along with my awareness, So I feel like for you, just knowing you personally, you're at your most aware, and probably everybody on this panel is at their most aware point in life right now because of the accumulation of all the experiences that you've had. And we're all thinkers, we're all analyzers, and like, wow, how could I have done that better? How could I love better? How could I have been there for that person better? And then so to go back to the beginning is your ability to receive and give improves as your knowledge of what the thing is, right? So I think maybe at that point in your life, you gave what you thought love was,
And the other thing too, I want to ask Ty is, do you think that love is an eternal thing? Or is it something that you've experienced at one point? Because I'm just going based on what Jay was saying, because he's right on the money. Literally everything you were saying, I was literally like about to say the same thing. So for me, it's like, is your idea of love, is it something that's eternal? Or is that something that's always that you experience? Because I've experienced great love stories in my life, and they made me who I am today. Right. And I couldn't be the guy I am today if I did not love some woman that did not love me, or I try to love some woman wrong that actually really truly love me. So it's like love is this one thing where it's part of your story, but it doesn't necessarily always belong to just one person at this point in time.
Wow, that's a good point. Like there are people that I definitely would love forever, but they're not necessarily mates or someone that I would consider a partner. They're more like family members. So in that sense, I would say love is eternal. But when it comes to a mate, I do believe that if it's not eternal, I do think that there's some waves in there when it comes to love. You may have a drought sometimes on your love, but you still have enough love for that person to continue with the relationship. I'm hoping one day, and I'm open to receiving love, because Jay did touch on a good point where he said, you know, at this point in our lives, we're at the most aware we've ever been based on our experiences. And, you know, I kind of wish that was a two-part question. Like, what would my exes say prior to me being quote unquote aware, and after? You know, I don't want to jump too far ahead, but you know, it has something to do with the who hurt you and why. You know, and I figured out a lot of things about myself, and I also figured out, you know, why I was the way I was, and I realized that I really wasn't even in a position to receive love properly, because I wasn't even me. You know, I was living as the alter ego of me. And when I realized that, you know, these people didn't like me, is because they didn't like me. They liked my alter ego. And that was another reason why I kept doubting their love for me, because I wasn't really giving them me. I was giving them my alter ego. So it all kind of made sense, you know. So when I started giving people my true self, and then they started caring about me and loving for me, then I was able to receive it differently, because I knew that I was giving them my true self. So, you know, like Jay said, like, once you kind of figure it all out, like, everything makes sense. Everything is so much easier. You know, you kind of chuckle at your past self and the way that you used to you know, the way you used to move, you know. And I hope eventually everyone gets to learn about themselves and heal, and I mean, we'll get into it, but yeah.
So
Facts, bro. No, that's so deep, bro. Like, the more, you know, I think somebody said it, like, the more you basically said the same thing, the more you get to know yourself. And I think for us, depending on what our life has been, you get in these performative ways of seeking people's approval, right? Even though we're not like, oh, to pick me and I want you to like me, whatever, outwardly, but you know, you want people to approve of your behavior, so we give them what they think they want, right? We've all been on, you know, for the most part, been on a particular TV show. And at the end of the day, we gave them a version of ourselves, but we didn't give 100% of who we truly are, right? For certain reasons. But I feel like in life, a lot of times we do that. And then I feel like for you, you know, Ty, you were like, once I gave them true parts of myself and then realized that they still love me, then it allowed you to let go. You put your pinky toe in, and then all of a sudden you're swimming, and you're like, oh, I'm still being loved, and I'm really me. And it's another way of showing to yourself that you actually deserve being loved for your authentic who you are, because that's beautiful too, you know? And the performative stuff is cool. We all know how to do that at work. You know, we code switch. How are you? Everything's good? Yeah, we're good. All right, cool. Sounds great. You know what I mean? Right? But then what if you could be at the office? Man, what's up, bro? Yeah, you know what I mean? What if you could be at the office like that? And it's like, oh, I can get fired? Oh, I can really be comfortable here. And so it sounds like you're doing that in life, which is a beautiful place to be as a man, man. Yeah.
And I would say that the sign about learning and knowing that you are at that level of self-awareness as a man is something that you said when we did our first panel. And I always remember that. It was something about, you know, the thrill of like chasing a woman was more worthy of, like, you know, it was like worthy losing or something like that. And it was like summarizing, why do people cheat? And essentially that's something that a man who's not self-aware of who he is would not say, right? Because when you're self-aware, you know how you make people feel, how cheating make you feel, or how when you cheat, you make people feel. So all those things are a sign that love is creating in you this beautiful being, regardless of how love happened in your life in the past.
Man, we're gonna get into it, because I think that's an upcoming question. I had a really good answer for it.
Well, let's go. I'm with it.
Wow, definitely powerful and enlightening. Let's go. Yeah, it's actually the last question, but the next question and the next topic is, we should have asked this after the first one. So what do you consider cheating? We should have asked this one after the whole.
That's an easy one.
Yes. Okay, let's hear it. What do you consider
cheating? Is if there's anything that you wouldn't do, if you're doing something that you wouldn't do in front of me, then that's cheating.
Hold on, say that again.
If you're doing something out there that you wouldn't do in front of me, that's cheating.
Okay, Jay.
You know, there's multiple types of cheating. Physical, emotional, spiritual. I think it kind of comes to kind of the basis of what Ty was just saying, where, you know, for example, if we're talking to an ex and, you know, it's casual, but then there's all these deep conversations about what you do and don't like about your current person, then that's, you know, like a cheating in a friendship way, right? You might not be physically cheating, but it's an emotional cheating thing. So, you know, there's been a thing where it's like women cheat emotionally and men cheat physically first. And yeah, I think it can be either one, you know. So cheating for me, of course, is, you know, if you're going to somebody else that's of the same sex as your, and talking to them about things that you would previously talk about with your mate, and that was an emotional bond that y'all had, and then you're now outsourcing that part of y'all's relationship to somebody else, and it's a newer connection, or even if it's an old connection, you know, that's emotionally cheating. And of course, the physical is pretty straightforward. You know, if y'all exchanging fluids, or if you're doing something you wouldn't do in front of your person physically or emotionally, I think that's cheating, like Ty said.
Yohan?
Sorry. Yeah, I think Ty put it perfectly. Like anything that you would not do in front of your partner, whether it's texting, calling, anything that you know will compromise or jeopardize the love that we have for one another, that's considered cheating. And I think that it's just the way it is, because cheating is when you're doing something you're not supposed to be doing within the confine of an order or a set of rules. So I think that's probably the best way to really put it, is like anything that you wouldn't do in front of your partner is considered cheating. Yeah.
So my thing is, you could be sitting right. So
here we go with the caveat. Come on, let's hear it.
I'm just saying.
The fine print. This is going to be the fine print. Huh?
Yeah.
Right.
Because my thing is because I'm just saying, because I've literally been with like men, like in a whole relationship where they've literally been sitting right by me, texting other females. Like,
but they cheating.
So, but they doing it in front of me.
So he texting or you?
Yeah, he texting, talking, making plans. I had a whole relationship with a dude.
He just cheated in front of you. That's all. Like,
it's not cheating if you're aware of it and you let it go. You ain't say nothing.
No, she's saying that
I didn't know.
And she didn't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I'm just being. I guess I'm being specific.
Oh. You be with these bold brothers, boy. They gangster with it, man.
I tell you, just
they gangster with it.
I pray that they get everything that they're supposed to get in life.
Ooh. That's the most savage prayer of all. Hope the energy returns to you. Like, damn.
You know, I mean, I remember I was in a whole marriage, and I remember my husband at the time was trying to show me something on his phone, and he swiped right, and it was a lady like this. Literally, her titties was out, and she was at the beach or at the pool. And I was like, is that the house that you was trying to show me? I said, because who is she? He was like, what are you talking about? I was like, the girl that was just in your phone, in your gallery. He was like, what girl? I'm telling you, men are
you were savages, man. Right?
Wow.
Let me tell you.
Yeah. Wow.
Honey, that marriage.
You gotta admit that was kind of smooth for him to be like, what girl?
Smooth?
I mean, it was crazy. Like, that's like crazy to do. Like, you know, in my opinion, it's like so like bold to be like, you know.
I remember talking to this guy, and I was telling him about all the different situations that, not all of them, but just different situations I've been through in my life. And I'm like, why do men do this? I'm like, do all men really cheat? You know what I'm saying? Like in real life. And you know what he said to me? He said, Sabrina, he said, a man will cheat if he knows he can get away with it, period.
Yeah, we're going to do everything you allow us to do. I used to get in trouble for saying hello. Like I was saying hello the wrong way. Why you cheesing? Why you smiling? Why you gotta do all this? And I'm like, I'm literally just saying hello. And they was like, that's not how you say hello. You know how you say hello when you trying to flirt a little bit.
But that's true.
Stop it.
That's true though. Because it's certain things that women might do. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm like a little extra, you know what I'm saying? You gonna notice it. You gonna be like, oh, she feeling a little, she happy today. She a little too happy. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all notice stuff like that. Just like we notice stuff like that. So it's kind of like whoever you're talking to, obviously they're doing something to your endorphins to make you feel a little, why do I look green?
Not the endorphins.
No, true. They're obviously doing something to your endorphins to make you feel like, hello. Ty normally, hey, what's up? Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up? And then you get a hello. What happened to your hey, what's up, Ty? No, you hey, what's up, everybody else? The lady at the deli. You know what I'm saying? Lady at the Walmart. You know what I'm saying? But as soon as we go to, Soul Fusion, hey, how you doing today? I'll take the number 14.
I think it's because you also noticed that she was good looking. And your little ego became a little fragile. And now you're on the defensive. And now you on high alert.
Not me.
How I'm saying hello.
Not me. Maybe other women. Not me. Because you know me, Ty. You know me, Ty. I'm going to be like, dang, she got that. No, come on now. The one, Jay. Y'all know if I see a beautiful woman. No, don't be trying to act like y'all know.
Don't put me in this.
I'm just saying, when I
not you specifically.
I'm gonna be like, dang, she fine. General. And that's just what it is, you know what I'm saying? Because I give women where props, you know what I'm saying? What props is due, I give it to them. And every woman that know me. I don't got, you know what I'm saying?
Well, can your man agree with you like on a intimate level like that? Or can he just agree and be like, yeah, she fine. She got a fatty and that's that.
I really want to. Sabrina, I know your reply to this, your response to it, but I'm new back into dating, right? And I'm used to being with women like yourself that you'll call out. Like I might see the woman at 3 o'clock, but I'm not gonna say anything until you say something.
Hell no.
Respectfully, right? Respectfully, right?
I seen it 5 minutes ago.
Right, exactly. But I'm keeping my eyes straight right here. Unless he crosses my way, and I might just do this, but the no head thought, you know what I mean? I'm not moving the head. I'm just keeping it right here respectfully. But I see her at 3 o'clock with the boop and the tap. So my question is, do you want, you're not gonna respectfully call it the boom and the tap. So my question is, how many women in the chat are okay with their man saying something, or would you say something? Are you pretty much just going to let him, are you going to lead it? Because we can't say anything, but are you going to lead it? And then it's okay for us to do a quick look. And then, oh, okay, I see what you're talking about. Even though we saw it, like Ty said 5 minutes ago.
I'll be like, damn, them is the wrong shoes.
That never
not have worn them shoes, girl.
What?
That never ended well for me. So I just couldn't even play that game.
Jay, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, guys. Real quick, Jay, you have a static in your.
Do I? Okay.
Yeah, you have a static. I just wanted to let you know.
Don't want no static.
Yeah, we don't want no static.
Be like, them jeans do not go with that shirt.
I'm gonna be like, what's the brand, babe? What's the brand? You're like, Jordache. Like, how you see that from all the way over here? Would you? You was there hot as I don't know what. Oh, did we lose Jay?
Best believe we scanned the room as soon as we walked in. First step.
Yeah.
Whole room.
I think most women.
2 seconds.
I think most women wouldn't have a problem with saying like, yeah, she's nice looking. She's real pretty. You know what I'm saying? I don't think women would have a problem with that. And I don't think a woman would have a problem with their man being like, dang, babe, like she's nice looking. You know what I mean? Well, I mean, yeah, of course, even if they didn't have that type of relationship. The thing is how you say it, like be respectful about it. Like, you can't just be like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Like, dang, you want to go over there with her? So I think it just be the delivery and how it's said. Because I don't have a problem, because at the end of the day, we not going to sit here and act like my man ain't see her.
So you just don't want us to be excited, but you just want us to be like, oh, she's fine, but I can't be like, damn, she's fine.
I mean, like, you could say it like that. Even that's respectful, because I'm going to be like, damn, you right. Like, you know what I'm saying? But if you like, damn, and be like, and then every 5 minutes, you want to hurry up and drink your drink because you want to go to the bar because she at the bar. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why you got to keep going to the bar? Like, you still thirsty? Like, you just had 6 Hennessy and Cokes. I don't understand.
So,
like,
can I ask?
You be funny? Okay, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, what if it's somebody? Because what if it's someone you are watching TV with, and there's somebody that was very attractive on TV, and you making those comments, and they having a problem with that? Because that's not cheating. You just expressing that somebody's attractive. Now,
I think it's just the level of excitement it is. Because my thing is, when was the last time you was excited about me when I got dressed up? And you was like, I haven't heard you say, damn, baby, in like 3 years. You know what I'm saying? So it just needs to make sense, I think. The level of excitement. Like, of course, I'm going to feel a type of way if you're saying, dang, every time we go out, dang, dang, dang. But I ain't got a dang in like 6 months. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's just a little bit different. And then too, the type of relationship is very important, that you have with your mate as well. Like, you just can't, be like, man, she got mad. Like, babe, look. And you ain't never did that before. Like, y'all had to have previous conversations about that is and how we will address them in public or even on TV. Like, it needs to be some type of level of understanding. Like, make it make sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just can't come out the woodwork and be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just need to know. So when you do that, especially if you've never done it for me, I'm going to be like, hold on. Like, does he even desire me? It's going to make me have some type of like something like, what's going on? So I think everybody's situation is just different. And we just have to figure out whatever type of relationship that we're in. We just have to figure out what it is and what's accepted, what's not accepted. Because there's some women that's like, you better not say that. You just need to look. She just be like, we both see it. Ain't no words even said, but this what she do. She just look at you. You better be like, you better look the other way too. Like, what we looking at? You know what I'm saying? Because some women are like that, where that in their eyes, that's just a level of disrespect, which I get, because how would you like it if I'm like, damn, he fine?
I was actually about to ask you that question. I was actually about to say that that's not necessarily a question, but make the statement that, on the other hand, I've never dated any woman that was like, man, this guy that just walked by, he's really fine. I don't know, but I don't know about y'all.
Never in the history of niggerdom has that ever been okay.
Like, I've never had that happen with me, though. Like, never. Like, never have I ever been with a woman and she was like, man, this dude that just walked by, he looked good, right? And I was like, yeah, he does. Like, I never did like, never.
You better keep that to yourself and dream about them later on like you normally do.
And for me, I'm like, y'all really being honest.
Oh my side.
Sabrina, you got to put the one that Janika Thompson just put up.
I haven't even been in the chat. Who said it? What happened? Oh, she
It's
said.
like fourth from the bottom.
Something, man.
Right. Like, it might make you have a little bit of insecurities. You know what I'm saying? As a man, like, wait a minute.
And that's the thing. I don't think my ego would have been even like bruised or anything, because I know me. Like, I know who I am. Like, I know like when I'm dating a woman, how I'm treating her. So it's not even something that's gonna make me feel any kind of way about it. But I just wonder, like, why y'all never that honest? Because I know for sure that there are places where we go with y'all, and you look at a guy and you're like, okay, he looks good. But when it's us, it's like, we know you're looking. We already looked like 5 minutes ago, and we didn't want to bring it up, but you're gonna bring it up just to make sure that, you know, you knew I was looking too, and then we are having those conversations, but like, you guys never actually say anything.
Yeah, I think just don't break the rule. Really, I only have only one rule. I think my only rule is that guy should not feel like he has a chance with you. You know what I mean? If he's a stranger and he don't know that we together, obviously, if he got some confidence, he may feel like he can get with you. But if they are aware of us, that guy should feel like he has zero chance. And that's really my only rule. Everything else I have a lot of confidence in. We good.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So, say for instance, we at the club, right? And you remember how I said, like, you know, the dude went up there and got the Hennessy and Coke like 6 times because she was at the bar. So what if it was a situation where you and your lady friend are out and she go to the bar and she about to go get her Hennessy and Coke and she about to get her 7th one, and the guy that you see her staring at all night, she's like, how would y'all handle that situation? Like, if you notice, like, she's noticing a guy at the bar and she's obviously doing things to try to get his attention.
The girl I'm with?
Yes.
She could keep her ass at the bar.
But what are you gonna say? Like, what you gonna say?
Nothing.
Not
I'm gonna let it slide.
I'm not a fan of.
I'm
not a fan of closure. You want to do all that? You want to be disrespectful? I'm not gonna argue with you about the disrespect. You know what you're doing. I'm
just going to get a Hennessy and Coke. I'm thirsty.
Shit.
Yeah, but if you're doing thirsty stuff while you thirsty.
I love that.
Right.
I love that.
Right.
You can be parched all you want, but if you're being thirsty, we got a problem. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You can keep your thirsty self at the bar.
Yeah. Look.
Yeah,
I'm drinks and I'm a bounce. Hey, you good? All right. Hey, I'm about to leave. You rolling with me? You gonna stay? I'm gonna give you options.
Oh,
For me, it'd be more about, it depends on where we are within our relationship. Because if we're already in a committed relationship and we are somewhere, I'm not letting my woman go to the bar together. Right?
Anyway.
Right? I'm like, first of all, I'm gonna be like, where you going? Like, you got this. Yeah. Now, if you really want to go, I'd be like, generally, I'm the one getting your drink. What's going on tonight? Or you really want to be the one getting that drink? Right? But if it's somebody that I'm just dating, probably by the time you asking for a drink and then you guys are talking and you stand there, I'm already asking for my check and I'm already like out the door about that point. I don't even have to say bye to you.
My other rule is blatant disrespect. Man, woman, I can't. I'm not dealing with blatant disrespect. I would leave you right there.
Barry Flair said, I hope the women are listening to this. You'll be tolerating disrespect. There we go. They wish you would.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
fine.
not trying to explain to a grown person what they doing wrong. They know.
Facts.
So, well, I know. Well, I've personally been with men where I'm like, dang, he looks nice. And my man been like, yeah, he all right. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, that's about all he gonna get.
Yeah. But
half the time when we ain't gonna throw shade and be like, yeah, he got skinny jeans though.
Now I've had that happen. Definitely like a side diss. Yeah, I've had that happen. But my thing is that I know for me, because I'm gonna tell y'all, like when I'm with someone, I am with them. Like I don't see nobody else. I don't care how fine this dude is. I don't care how much money he got. I don't care whatever, what car he drive. Like for real, when I'm with someone, I am so like in tunnel vision. So you know, but he knows that if I'm with him, he's gonna know that because I show him every day, every minute, you know what I mean? Like he knows he don't got nothing to worry about. What's so funny, Tyrone?
I'm gonna invite the haters real quick. Every now and then I
put it in the chat. I put it in the chat.
Since every now and then I come ready for the smoke. A lot of times women, as guys, if it's difficult to deal with you, we know another man's not gonna go through all of that. We doing it because we love you. So if another dude's shooting his shot, sometimes I might be like, yeah, go ahead, dog. You know what I mean? Because I know at the end of the day, if I'm getting a whole bunch of attitude and it's not on me for something that I did wrong, it's not because I was swiping and all of a sudden there was a girl later. Like if I'm just genuinely being a nice guy and a good guy to a woman, and she's just one of those people that just has her ways, and I know most men are going to put up with your ways, then I'm really not that bothered because I know at the end of the day, they're not going to put up with you like what I'm dealing with. You know what I mean? So Jay, I know it's, go ahead.
Are you saying he's shooting his shot while you're in the same room?
That doesn't bother me, bro. It doesn't. And 9 times out of 10, it's not going to happen. But if it does, you know, we've had that happen. I've had it happen every now and then with the dude, and you know, it's up to, that's the perfect test for me. That's the perfect test of how your woman's going to react and how she handles it. That's going to tell me a lot of whether we have the ability to be together or not. How do you handle it when I'm in the room?
I actually don't mind. I actually enjoy watching her shoot him down.
Thank you. If that's what's happening.
Yeah. I'd be like, go ahead, bro.
Yeah, go. You got it.
Yeah. That's me.
I said that on I had a situation when I was married, and I had said that on a prior episode of this. And people were like, I can't believe you must not have cared about your wife. No, I didn't bother me because I know she's coming home to me. I'm paying all the bills. Of course she's coming home to me. You know what I mean? Like we drove together. So I know we're getting back in the car and going home together. So him shooting his shot for a couple hours, that don't bother me, man.
Jay, you sound like you're so far away.
Oh, it must be my headset. Hold on, let me do this.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? Hold on.
Yeah.
Like she was like, follow me on IG though.
Click. Honey, I have so many married men in my DMs talking about, I just want to let you know I'm proud of you. What?
Is this better?
I'd be like, is your wife proud of you? Like, stop. Yeah. Or they'll like slide in my DM and say something like random, but then their profile picture or they even slide in my DM talking about, hey, how are you? I'd like to get to know you, but it'd be like married on their profile, and then the wife and him be on a little circle picture. I'd be like, what? Anyway, How I even start talking about that? It don't even matter. What was we talking about? Jay, you back? That was intermission. I can't hear you at all now, Jay.
This has been fun.
I like
do men approach married women to flirt? Shoot, why do women approach married men? Let me tell y'all something. Why is that? Why do y'all think? Because I've been talking to a lot, not that I've been talking to a lot of men lately, but I've talked to some men lately, and they have been telling me, like, especially ones that used to be married, and like, why is it that women are, not all women, but a lot of women are drawn to married men? Why is that? It was actually a conversation that we had last night that kind of touched on it. And I kind of want to know, like, how y'all feel about that.
So I think women, when they go after married men, I feel like it's because they already see that this guy is established. He's been vetted, you know, subconsciously you want someone who would be able to take care of you and your child. And if someone has already vetted that person and agreed to marry that person, there's really nothing to second guess about that. Mm-hmm. You know, like it's almost like you subconsciously feel like that's a good guy right there. Mm-hmm. You know, I think that's the primary reason. Now, the other way around, for guys going after married women, I guess the best way to explain it is, like, say you go to the casino and you get lucky on a certain type of slot machine, you know, you're going to go back to that slot machine, you know. Sometimes you win, sometimes you don't. But it's almost like the married women, they have something to lose too. You know, a lot of the married women, I'm just speaking from what people have been telling me, you know, it's easy. It's just an easy transaction. It's just something they probably need, you know, to get out their system. And then they're going to go back to their husbands, no questions asked. You know what I mean? You ain't got to take care of them. You ain't got to buy them nothing. All of their needs is already being met by the husband, except for this one specific thing. And as long as you providing this and you get the call back, then you continue to do what you need to do so you can continue to get the call back. If you don't get the call back, then you know you messed up somewhere.
I can't mess with nobody married nothing. I can't do it. Get somebody else to do it. I can't. I just be feeling like, I mean, at the end of the day, especially with situations like that, it's obviously motives involved. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I don't know. And, you know, it's some men that I know that not saying that I personally know, but I know of situations where they don't even wear their ring. They don't even, I actually was in a situation where it was crazy because I forgot how it happened, but they didn't have their ring, and it was like in their car. Like it was in like you know, like the little ashtray part or whatever the case, like something like the little dish thing, that their ring was there. And I was like, why are you not wearing your ring? Oh, because I went to the gym. Do y'all think that makes sense? Like,
Is your guy or a different guy? Your guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like Jay said, they seem to be pretty bold around you. Bold thing
guys, I have dated
some
bold guys.
Yeah,
sounds like
me. It's crazy because they had all this fabulousness. They had all this greatness.
You better have an infection or something for you to not have your ring on.
Yeah, like dang, that's kind of crud. But you know, it is what it is. But yeah, you know, back then they didn't want me. Yeah. So moving forward, would you say, Jay?
He's trying to get back on, I think.
Oh, he's trying to get it together. You're
yeah, it sounds.
frozen. Say it again, Jay. We can't hear you at all. Now you're on mute. I want you to put your ear thing. Yeah, put your ear thing back on. Okay. All right. So moving forward, golly, I feel like we could talk about so many sub conversations. Like I have so much, but anyway. So who hurt you? Who hurt you? Let me give you a hug. Who hurt you? And what have you done to heal, my brothers, my kings? Who hurt you? And what have you done to heal?
I think when you ask that question, what I'm thinking about, it's not just about the people that I loved or that I had a relationship with. What I'm thinking about is the environment that I was that I essentially grew up in. So for me, I would say a lot of the hurt that I caused to people and that I also experienced were based on my upbringing that was essentially not emotionally very mature or even sensitive. So that essentially like put me at the mercy of people that did not necessarily like had the best interest for me sometime. So I just think that, you know, when hurt is happening, it's always something that we get to like take some part of the blame for it happening. But I think that everything that happened in my life happened for a reason, but most of it was where I come from, what I've gone through, and the people that I gave a chance to love, or the people that tried to love me and then hurt me at the end. So I would say, for me, it was more my childhood that was very different in the life that I live now. That essentially like create more pain in my life.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Wow. My response might be a little bit long-winded, but I'll try to make it quick.
No. Yeah, this is a safe
So
space.
I'd say about a year ago, you know, Kojo had the little run through all of the different cities. And he came to DC and I was at the table sitting out in front of everyone. And he asked a question, you know, what did you learn about yourself in this whole love experience? And I gave some response about boundaries and respecting your boundaries, knowing what your boundaries are and blah, blah, blah. But ultimately, you know, on my way home, I thought about it again. And I said to myself, I said, the one thing that I learned about this is that I would never have a successful relationship unless I heal. So to answer the question, you know, who hurt me, you know, I would say that I allowed myself to hurt myself for the longest time. And the reason why I say that is because like you can say that you have been affected by your upbringing, by things that you've seen from your parents and your friends and your uncles and all that. And yes, that is true. And personally, I have been affected by all of the things that I've seen or not seen from, you know, my biological father not being present, things I've seen from my mom, things that I've seen, you know, from my dad. And what was happening was all of that together essentially made me create an alter ego for myself. And this alter ego made me believe that I can do anything, that people love me, that people want to be around me, you know, that women, you know, do appreciate me and want to be with me. And in the end, you know, I wasn't believing it because, like I mentioned earlier, that wasn't my true self. You know, that was my alter ego. And my alter ego is a really fun guy to be around. But in the end, I realized that I could be the alter ego and I could be Tyrone, the nice guy as well, because I am the one doing all of those things. So what I had to do to heal was I had to go and address all of that individually, spend time with my mom, talk to my father and ask, is 30 years of faithfulness worth it? And then talk to my biological father, and actually forgive him for not being present, because I do deserve love. And I was blaming a lot of that on his absence, and because I was able to address all of that, like Jay said earlier, I'm at the most aware point in my life that I have ever been, and I know all of that affected me, but it no longer affects me. Like I chuckle at it all, and everything that happened in my past made me who I am. I appreciate the journey of figuring it all out. It wasn't easy addressing every single one of those situations, but when I did, I posted it, on my IG. I wanted it to be public so other people can go through that journey as well. And for those who aren't healed, what's bothering you, subconsciously. Do your best to try to address that. Once you address that, get rid of your demons, it's so much easier to walk through life a whole lot lighter, and you figure it out, because you will not have a successful relationship, and you will continue to carry those demons with you. And then once they're all gone, you'll be able to give another person your true, authentic self. And it's just a really, it's an unexplainable feeling to figure out who you truly are and what you truly want in life, and then go get that without, worrying what other people feel about what you want in life. Oh, the little kid, those are my nieces in the background. So.
Yeah.
Bro, that's
Jay.
so beautiful. Like, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh, yeah. Great.
Oh, yes, I am back. Man, Ty, brother to brother, that's beautiful, man. Like I just personally want to applaud you for doing the work, and then on top of that, sharing your work, sharing your progress, as a man and as an African American man in this society, and you're a strong military background brother. You know what I mean? And so for you to share your walk, it makes it okay for a lot of other brothers to go through the process. And that's huge, man. So I don't even want to answer after that. I feel like we just need to mic drop, say a prayer, and go home after that. Like, just it's beautiful, bro. I guess I'm supposed to answer, so I'll touch on kind of. You said who hurt you? I think it's a lot of times. For me, we all have things, regardless of how perfect seeming or non-perfect our childhood was, that we take from that and we process in a good or a bad way. And usually it's things that aren't intentional by a family member. Like, for example, Ty, your dad, I'm sure his intention wasn't to hurt you, in not being there. And then you get a chance to, and so there is this thing that we do as men, and as kids, period, of what did I do to not deserve this? And then we internalize a lot of those feelings, and then we go out and create an alter ego or find other ways that society will receive us, and we be safe and create a safe space for ourselves. So for me, I think it was a couple of things that, happened in childhood, and then there was a couple of things that I chose as an adult. And so trusting people was one of those things that I got out of it, is that I couldn't do. And so even now I create safe spaces for myself. My circle is real small. It's a circle that I can 100% trust on. I was talking to a friend of mine earlier, and I was like, man, I got some boys that I could leave $1 million on the table and come back in 3 years, it's going to be there, and I can trust them that much. But that's, I've still got fingers left on my hand on who I can actually trust, right? Like that. but it doesn't mean that I'm not willing to. But there has to be, because we recognize certain patterns in life, then we look for certain things that say, okay, this is a way in which I can be vulnerable and I can trust this person. I think in relationships, we do the same thing. So if you see a woman that's constantly going to the bar 5-6 times to get a Hennessy, you're like, yep, can't trust that one. She's trying to be all up on this. Like there's going to be, it's not that you're not trustful. You're not a trusting person. You see the same stuff that you saw before that says, it's not safe to trust here. So recognizing patterns, I think, is important. But then there's also a safe space. For me, the work that I've done is I'm in counseling. I mean, I've talked about that. I'm very vocal about it. And that's why I applaud Ty, because a lot of times we don't see other Black men go to counseling. So it's kooky to us. It's not something that's originally in our culture. It's a learned behavior. And I believe that we need to be in the church and understand exactly what the Bible says and get our definition of who we are from that. And then we also need to go do the work, biblical work, along with counseling, allows you to be, a healthy person. Because a lot of times you might not be getting the world application to what's going on in your life. Along with the word, you might just be getting the word, and you might not, your issues might not be happening to you in King James versions. So then where do you get that additional work from? And so I applaud brothers like Ty and Johan. You could tell, like I can already tell you've done your work or in the work, but I don't know. I mean, everybody has their different ways that they do it. So counseling is my way to understand things current, present, and future. I'm afraid that Sabrina finds this dog on top. That's hilarious to watch you look for it. Like
it'd be landing right in the middle of the screen. It'd be like, yeah, what you gonna do? Like it's messing with me. It's like provoking me. I'm sorry.
But Sabrina, one thing I didn't do when I answered my question was also, covering like how I got over like my hurt essentially, and what Jay was sharing about like learning how to trust people really resonated with me because, I grew up around women and my sisters, my cousins, and, I had brothers, but I do still, but what it revealed to me in therapy, because I do go to counseling, is that I had an unhealthy relationship with female, not necessarily like leadership, but like having some form of like support from a female, because it was never coming from a very lovable place growing up for me. So what I then started doing, and maybe I don't know if it's for all men, but what I started doing, I started doing CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. And it kind of like really went over so many other things that I hadn't really dealt with in my younger days and as a child, and all those things that were kind of like rooted in me with a level of like trust. And obviously, there's like the spiritual aspect that's there as well, because I wouldn't be where I'm at today if it wasn't for God, but I would say like in a very practical way, therapy has helped me a lot. And having conversation with you guys on here, I can tell that you guys also put in the work. You got to the point where you're like, okay, I've tried this for so many years doing it my way. I'm going to try to do things a little bit differently. And that's how I got over the hurt that I was experiencing in my life.
I was going to ask you too, because I know because you actually went first, and when you spoke, when they spoke, I was going to ask you, like, Johan, is it anything you wanted to add to that? Because I had a feeling like you weren't finished, but you were. But I was like, I feel like he has some more to say. Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you. So someone Jay, were you finished?
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, when you, and Johan knows this, Ty knows this, and I'm sure a ton of the chat knows it. It feels like there's a lot of, people that are really, you're here, a lot of probably because you're doing the work, is that it's work, man. Sometimes counseling ain't fun. I've left some counseling sessions mad, like, this lady tripping, I don't want to come back to here, and then I'll be right back next week, but that's going to be part, I know, especially the type of intensive, work you were just talking about, Johan, I'm familiar with that. And it's taking the bull by the horns and going straight on in, and really dissecting each one of those things that occurs. And so, you know, I can say this that we've all experienced is that, man, doing the work is fun, but who you become on the other side of it, and what it's kind of like unlocking a level in a video game. You know, you were cool. You thought that level 7 was everything, and you know, you knew where all the little things were and all that stuff. But when you unlock to that next level, man, it literally unlocks parts of your life that you can now enjoy even more. It's like having a kid. You thought single life was dope, and then all of a sudden you have this thing that, you know, you would give your life for, and everything, every color, every sound is that much more intense. It's a beautiful thing, man. So I'm experiencing some things now since I've been going to counseling that I hadn't experienced before, and I just see it totally different.
Yeah.
And there's something one of my boys, Lateris Whitfield, that has the Dear Future Wifey podcast said. He said, man, the healed version of you will no longer be attracted to the things that the unhealed version of you were. And that's that thing where you look back at your exes, you're like, I can't believe I even dated that person. What was I going through? You know what I mean? Like, and they were just an image. They were a reflective. They were a mirror of where you were internally, is what that was. So all the dysfunction and all that stuff, that was you outward, you know? Yep. And as you heal yourself, all of a sudden you'll find this peace around you. And it almost will seem boring at first. And it's like, oh, no, this is the new normal. We've gotten used to all the dysfunction. We've gotten used to all the chaos. And that's because internally there was chaos and dysfunction.
And then at that point in your life is when you realize, like, you know what, I'm not going to ignore these red flags anymore. Because just like you said, like you recognize it, like your healed self-recognize. Oh,
yeah.
Oh, Ty, I thought you were telling me. I was like, okay. No, but yeah. And honestly, in the very first step, I feel like, because I know with me, because even though like with me, like therapy is there and going to, you know, actually talk to someone, but in real life, like the work doesn't stop when you leave therapy. Like I know for me, a lot of my healing came from self-healing. Like I had to do a lot of self-healing. And one thing, and I'm going to say this, and this is a whole word, I think I said it last night too, but the very first thing you need to do is to stop lying to yourself. Stop selling yourself dreams. Like you said, like the therapist is going to say some hard things. It's hard. So you have to say those hard things to yourself. If you can't say them to yourself, how are you going to sit down with somebody else? How are you going to accept what they have to say to you? If you can't even say it to yourself. But I can honestly say, once you start loving yourself, you will then realize, you know what? Like going to the gym, no pain, no gain. Like you have to go through those trials, tribulations, those challenges, those, you know, sleep sweats, the, you know, disappointments, the anxiety, the depression. You're going to have to go through those stages. Like I went through those stages. It took me a long time to become the woman that I am, the person that I am. That's why I work so hard at protecting my space and protecting like who I am, because I'm not going to allow some stranger to just come in and try to screw up everything that I worked so hard for. You know what I mean? So yeah, you definitely have to protect it. And I know I preach that and I speak that so much. And I really, I preach it because I live it. And, you know, and I'm just not out here just throwing stuff around because it sounds good. But, you know, it's very important that, you know, you show up for you show up for the person who you want to be. I always say, especially when I do my public speaking, I wish I had a me growing up. You know what I mean? I probably wouldn't have made a lot of all the mistakes, but I'm so glad that I did, because now I'm able to help others. You know, that is where I was 12 years ago. You know what I mean? And it wasn't such a great place. But, you know, once you get to that point, it's a really, really good feeling, and really nobody can mess with it. No one can touch it. Nobody can disrupt it. Nobody can take it away from you. You know why? Because it's yours. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I don't want to start preaching and stuff. But
no, that was good, Sabrina, because what you guys are always saying is that generally when you start doing the work, at some point, you're not even going to be the one saying things about what you're doing or what you're experiencing, because doing the work is just like going to the gym. And I love that analogy, because when I started going to therapy and being honest within the therapy, because a lot of people do go sit down, but some of us are not necessarily accountable within ourselves. And we don't know that that's also another form of self-love. Yeah. Self-love is also being hard on yourself about things that you need to get rid of because they are harming you more than they are helping you and the person that you want to become. So when you start becoming very honest with yourself and with the person who's sitting across from you, a lot of small changes are starting to happen. And when I started hanging out around my friend, what I would hear was like, man, you changed, man. I can tell you've been going to therapy. And I'm just like, really? You know, like I take pride into my cooking, for example. And I had my best friend over a couple of weekends ago, and he was like, let me cook something for us and all this stuff, you know, and he made food and we had people over and stuff. And, you know, they asked us like, okay, so you guys know each other for a long time. Who cooks better? And I was like, he cooks better. And he was like, man, I've been trying to get this guy to tell me that I cook better than him for 20 years. And now he just wanted to admit that. And I was like, man, I had to go to therapy because I couldn't let that title go. My ego was keeping me up to say, I'm not going to tell you a better cook than me, you know? So like small things are happening even in dating world when you're meeting people are going to be telling you that you're on the right path of becoming the person that you want to be.
Yep. Honey, the old Sabrina would have, I wouldn't even be saying like I'm single, I'm single. The old Sabrina would have been in a whole relationship. The healed Sabrina will wait. Will wait. That's why I'm still single. Anyway, I love y'all. Virtual love. I love y'all so much. This was such an amazing conversation. Thank you so much. Y'all dropped so much, man. I know I say all the time, I swear on the women's panel, I be having fun. But on the men's panel, it be deep. It do be deep. I'm gonna have to say this is the last show for women and men separate. Golly, I hope they don't watch this, but yeah, the men's panel to me is the best. It's better than the women's panel. I was gonna make a decision at the last panel, and I'm gonna have to get it. Oh God, they're gonna get me. They're gonna be like, "Sabrina, you're a traitor." But no, the men's panel, I have to give it up to you guys, y'all. I really hope that even if one person just watches like our panels back and changes for like the better and say, you know what, I think I'm ready to do the work. You know what I mean? Because we can laugh, we can kiki, we can have fun, we can do all those things. But at the end of the day, if we like help one person, then I feel like our job was done. Anyway, we're going to do an extroduction. We're going to go around, let everybody know exactly who you are, where you're from, what you're working on. If you want to share, let them know where they can follow you on socials as well. We're going to start with Ty, then Jay, then Yohan.
What's up, everybody? Tyrone Wilson here. You can catch me at Ty Wilson 21. I will be putting out some new content. Also, June 19th is PTSD Awareness Day. So be on the lookout for things from my channel on that day. Other than that, always a pleasure to be here. You know, I look forward to being on the panel next week with the women. We're gonna do what we do. All right.
Next week is gonna be wild, bro. I'm looking forward to it. Man, I want to say thank you to all soulmates. Sabrina, you know, thank you for allowing us to come on and sharing, and hopefully pushing the conversations forward and awareness forward. Thank you, brothers. Y'all have been amazing, man. I learned from each one of y'all, man, on doing the work, and it's good to be in good company. I am Jay Bradley. IG is at JBrad. So JAYB is in boy, RAD is in David. And I'm just happy to be a soulmate.
Yohan.
Man, Jay, that's hard to follow.
Try your best.
So again, you know, Sabrina, I just wanted to, before we close out, I just want to affirm you real quick, because I believe that when you and I, you know, met on your channel, there was that connection right there as far as us being able to like exchange on this platform one day. Yeah. So I just think that you're an amazing person. You were on a season where you were looking for love, and God is just opening so many doors for you. So you bring so many soul mates on platform every week is just a great thing because it's pushing the conversation for a healthy relationship and healthy way of doing life. So I appreciate you for that. And just for me, I'm just a guy out here in the mountain in Colorado. My Denver Nuggets won a championship this week. So we celebrating, still doing my loan. You guys can follow me on Instagram, Yokita7. Thanks for having me again, Jay, Ty. It's always a pleasure to share with you guys the platform.
Yeah. Oh God, it's so bittersweet. Yes, next week on Wednesday at 8 p.m., we are going to be having a co-ed panel. It's going to be the men and the women together discussing topics about dating. So next Wednesday, oh God, I can't believe this is my last. So next Wednesday, co-ed panel, be here, 8 p.m. And then Ready to Love starts July 7th. I will see you here then on July 7th for the live reaction watch party for Ready to Love. And then the following week, as every season, we will have a live panel discussing the show. Anyway, make sure you click that thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe and make sure you follow these men on the socials. Anyway, love you so much, guys. I will see you we're gonna see y'all. Are y'all excited about Wednesday?
So I should probably have my goodbyes because I won't be here next Wednesday.
Oh, damn.
I'll be in the comments. Yeah, so I volunteer with this organization called the Denver Dream Center. Shameless plug. We're doing the work here in the inner city with the youth and incarcerated men. So I'm going to be doing my youth night next Wednesday, but I'm going to be in the comments.
Okay. All right. Yeah. No worries. Congratulations to you for that. And yes, happy Father's Day, guys.
Thank you.
Father's Day. Yes.
Thanks. Happy Father's Day, guys. I forgot about that one. So.
Yeah. All right. All right, guys. See y'all next week. Love you. Bye.